Witam, pulpeczka z tej strony. Wracamy do The Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars. Tak, a ten ksiądz nadal poleruje. I poleruje. Ja podejrzewam, że musimy coś zrobić po prostu z tym żonglerem tam. Na 100%. Tylko co?
Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
Look, a red nose.
Ah, you are a clown.
A clown?
No, if so, you would be a much better jongleur.
For a moment, an idea capered around near the spotlight of my attention, but fell down the pothole of abstraction before I could focus on it.
No właśnie tego nie rozumiem. Coś musimy z tym nosem zrobić.
Catch you later.
To na 100%. Na 100%. Pff, co ja mówię po prostu.
Excuse me, officer.
Co tu robisz?
Shouldn't you be off directing traffic or
To już się
something?
pytałam.
You have seen the Parisian traffic, no?
Yeah, so?
I could direct the traffic. The most dangerous, the east side of Rome. Or I can sit here and enjoy the sun, the architecture, and the so-so Sauvignon. Which would you choose?
Yeah, but I'm not a policeman. What happened to duty?
An excellent question, monsieur.
Może jemu pokażę. ten
Does
nos.
this red nose mean anything to you?
Ah, you are a clown.
Do I look like a clown?
No, although you juggle like one. Now, if I'd known you were a clown, it would have been amusing, and not a humiliation for you.
What do you mean?
Who ever heard of a plainclothes clown?
He had a point. So you're saying that if I juggle badly with a red nose, I'd be the king of comedy. But if I juggle badly without it...
You look like a pathetic loon. Oui, monsieur, you have it.
Okej.
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur.
Czyli-
I'll be there.
Czyli on nam podpowiedział, co mamy zrobić tak dokładnie.
Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
I'd like to have another try at juggling, please.
You have gone on a crash course, perhaps?
No, I just had an insight into presentation.
Huh?
Allow me to demonstrate. The balls, please.
If you insist on completing your humiliation, monsieur.
Okay, now for my secret weapon. The juggler was speechless with rage. You could have mistaken him for a mime. And without a word, he collected his balls and left in a fury. Hey! You forgot one of your balls! Hey! But he didn't hear. Better still, deprived of his entertainment, the gendarme decided maybe he ought to do some policing for a change.
Okej. Dziwnie to wszystko się złożyło. Bardzo dziwnie.
I couldn't open...
Tak. Bo już to wcześniej próbowałam. Chyba w poprzednim odcinku, z tego co kojarzę. Nie mogliśmy zrobić, bo tutaj było zbyt dużo ludzi. Więc może teraz. Znaczy zbyt dużo ludzi. Policjant był. Ci ludzie nam nie przeszkadzają, jak widać. Co tu mamy? Ciekawe. Okej. Po co to
The
nam?
hook lay in a bed of chain.
Po coś to nam potrzebne, ale po
My
co?
medieval French isn't much, but the few words I understood seemed to say, this is where the gallows used to stand. Maybe.
Okej.
The inscription was hard to read, but I made out Templier and something about innocence. The wall had flaked, and anything once written on it had long since gone. The wall seemed in very poor condition. The inscription was undecipherable. The plaster had cracked and was falling away. I wondered why. The hook lay in a bed of chain.
Okej, pójdziemy sobie tutaj, bo nie wiem, co tam zrobić. Nie skomentujesz tego? Naprawdę tego nie skomentujesz? Ja bym chciała to, żebyś skomentował.
I pushed against the door, but it seemed to be locked.
Nie widzę, żebyś się starał. Mamy to zrobić coś takiego? Nie. Może piłkę chcesz? Też nie. Ciekawe. To jest ciekawa rzecz. I co ty chcesz, żebym zrobiła?
The hook.
Okej. Nie za bardzo rozumiem, co ty chcesz ode mnie. Bo ja bym to przyczepiła tutaj i bym przekręciła.
If I wanted to get deeper into these catacombs, I was going to have to get onto that path. If the near edge hadn't crumbled away, I could have jumped it easily.
Mhm. Co to nam to daje?
The hook lay in a bed of chain.
No dobrze. Ale...
The wall had... The inscription was... There were...
Co?
There were 3 arches, each with an inscription. There were 3 arches, each with an inscription. A weird little boat lay tied up. I guess they used it to get maintenance crews around. Either that or the Phantom of the Opera was somewhere near. On the boat was a winching machine.
Dopiero teraz jedną rzecz odkryłam. Tyle już czasu gram w tą grę i dopiero teraz to odkryłam. Że jak przycisnę prawym przyciskiem myszy, to wtedy on mówi coś innego jeszcze. Aj Boże. Dobra, ja nic na razie tutaj nie mogę zrobić niestety. Chyba. Zobaczmy, czy ksiądz nadal...
The priest was still busy with the chalice, so I decided to have another look around the church.
No niestety, ksiądz nadal poleruje. To co ty ode mnie oczekujesz teraz? Okej, mogę stąd wyjść. No, ciekawe. Mogę gdzieś pojechać? Nie, nie mogę pojechać. Dobra. Do muzeum nie byliśmy. W muzeum chyba... Czy byliśmy w muzeum? Byliśmy w muzeum, okej. Okej. Pójdziemy sobie do Nicole. Zapytać się.
Hello, George.
Albo się nie zapytamy.
That is not a good idea.
Nie zapytamy się. To
I better get back to the quest.
Co ja mam zrobić, co? Naprawdę nie Ale nie do muzeum chciałam. Po prostu. Coś tutaj.
I had no desire to talk to the crowd.
Tylko co? A zobaczmy, może tam on coś powie na temat tej czaszki. Bo jak w sumie przez całą grę nie wiedziałam o tym, to może teraz mi coś ciekawego powie.
The door was a handsome piece of work.
Aha. Okej. Kurczę, no, George, postarałeś się z tym opisem. Nie ma co. Może coś będę potrzebowała stąd? Nie. Może to. Też nie. Że co? Czy ja dobrze słyszałam kozę? Ha.
It was the soggy tissue I'd found in the sewers. It was the bright red ball I'd got from the juggler.
George. Błagam. Pomóż mi. Nie pomagasz mi. Hmm. W ogóle mi nie pomagasz, powiem ci. Myślałam, że to będzie coś, ale jednak nie. Kurczę, jak tu masz zniszczony ten, to przecież mógłbyś zrobić użytek z tego.
It was time for some brutal
Oh.
destruction. Hey, that's hollow! I'd poked a hole in an historical site. If any archaeologists came by, they'd lynch me for this. There was some sort of mechanism hidden inside the wall, with a lever in the middle of it.
Zagadka?
Here goes. The secret door had jammed. I couldn't get through that gap.
No dobra. Ale możesz użyć jeszcze raz tego, tak?
I'd pull the lever right over. I'd pull the lever right over.
Teraz to mi każesz wziąć. O Jezu. Już naprawdę. Nawet jakbyś się na to oparł, to byś po prostu to zniszczył. No zobaczmy, co tam jest. Kie?
Boy, had I ever made a mess of that door.
Co tu mamy? Tajemnice.
At the bottom of the steps, I could see a glow.
Ja
I
też to
could hear
widzę.
voices from the lit area. It seemed a good moment to be cautious.
Czyli co?
In the beginning was the end.
An end wrought by our enemies began our darkness.
In the end will be a beginning.
An end to our enemies heralds our new day. Report. The military establishments are in flux. The end of the Cold War has left them with no clear goal and as obvious targets for budgetary cuts. We have successfully promoted a sense of betrayal in the upper echelons. They feel that the politicians have cast them adrift. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
Good. Mademoiselle?
Governments are giving the corporations more respect than their own citizens. A groundswell of dissatisfaction and dissidence is growing. The corporations are becoming too large and complex for their own executives to control them. A blind belief in market forces is accelerating this trend the world over. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
The global population's belief in those that govern it has never been lower. We have inculcated a sense of immediacy and action over forethought and planning in all the major governments. They are acting on hasty decisions that cannot be completed or revoked without appearing foolish. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
Excellent. The tired old governments are dying a slow death from their own incompetence and our machinations. Professor, where is the broken sword?
As we discussed last time, with the loss of the manuscript, our search is as a corollary hindered.
And as discussed last time, you have been furnished with a dramatically increased budget. What have you been doing with our money, Professor?
We are working on the principle that the Templars, that is to say our predecessors,
Hold on. These are the Templars?
must have left a trail when they were hiding the clues to the sword of Baphomet's location. I have a small army of historians and archaeologists ferreting out that trail.
I trust these historians and archaeologists are more trustworthy than your friend Pegram.
Pegram was loyal. He tried to protect the Lockmarn gem when the Hashashin came near.
And failed. And don't call that Syrian maniac the Hashashin. He's an assassin. Plain and simple.
That's not what he believes. He actually thinks.
Silence! Do I have to remind you that we have a sacred duty? A trust? When Philippe attempted to destroy the Order, we lost the sword and our power with it. Now we have the opportunity to reforge it. But time is short. We need results, not petty bickering, not excuses. Now, Professor Baphomet.
Yes, of course, my apologies. We will find Baphomet and the sword, manuscript or no. We have already found another element actually within Paris.
Excellent. What is it?
Well, we're not exactly sure at present.
Ha!
But I have my best people working on it. You would do well not to criticize others, Eklund. At least I have not murdered one of our own.
Of course. That guy was the bogus doctor in the hospital.
Wow, George, szybki jesteś.
Was a liability. Eklund dealt with him on my orders.
I beg your pardon, Grandmaster. I did not mean to.
Have you any good news for us, Professor?
We already know 3 of the elements. We know that Klausner had obtained the lens before he vanished.
Where was he?
Syria. We know that he arrived, but after that, nothing.
The assassin.
I fear so. It's a shame. Klausner was a good operative.
This will be our last meeting in person until we locate the sword of Baphomet. I hope that I don't need to emphasize the importance of finding it. Without it, our endeavors come to nothing. With the sword reforged, we will have the power to sweep the stage of all opposition. The next time that we meet, it will be to become the princes of this world!
Wow.
Wow. Faktycznie, George. Wow. To było ciekawe. Tam 2 osoby znaliśmy.
In the middle of the circle was a stump of stone, a shaft of daylight from the world above lancing down to touch it.
Ja wiem, na co to jest.
The tripod's feet fitted neatly into the notches on the top of the stump. The light, falling from above, struck the gem and scattered in 5 neat rays. And each ray picked out a letter. Starting from the left, I could read M-A-R-I-B. Marib. Now all I had to do was figure out what the heck that meant.
Nico, I've seen them.
Who?
The Templars. I spied on their meeting in the catacombs.
And you saw the Knights Templar?
I saw a bunch of guys masquerading as Templars. They're after something called the Sword of Baphomet. The bogus doctor was there, the guy who killed Marquet. The manuscript is the key, just as we thought. It shows the way to the broken sword, whatever that is.
And how does the assassin fit into all this?
He's out to stop them. These Neo-Templars, they're men and women in influential positions. Don't you see? Plantar was one of them. The assassin killed him for the manuscript, to stop them finding the sword.
But now we have got the manuscript.
Yes.
So, how do they hope to find the sword?
I don't know. They said something about a lens and a guy called Klausner who's gone to Syria. But they didn't seem to realize the significance of the very site of their meeting. You see, after they'd gone, I discovered a stone pedestal and a carved inscription. I set up the gem on the tripod, directly below a beam of light. The gem split the beam and lit the letters M-A-R-I-B.
Marib is a village in Syria.
Then the Neo-Templars are ahead of us. Klausner beat me to it.
You're not thinking of going there yourself, are you?
Why not?
These guys are crazy and dangerous. That reminds me, you should leave the gem here.
Okay. What about the tripod?
I'll send it back to André, anonymously.
Co? Dlaczego tak dziwnie? Bez kitu.
Do you think I should go to Marib?
Syria is a long way, Georges.
No to idziemy. Lecimy do Syrii, tak? Tak! Super! Ciekawe. Okej. Najpierw się rozejrzymy, co tutaj jest. Angielska flaga. Ciekawe. O, ten w ogóle niepodejrzanie wygląda. Nie, nie, nie. Wszystko z nim jest okej. Czy coś tutaj mamy oprócz tych dywanów i tak dalej? Nie. Dobra, tam mamy jeszcze możliwość pójścia.
I figured going out into the countryside was a pretty good way to get lost.
Okej. Czyli niewiele rzeczy tutaj zobaczymy. Okej. Spoko. Zaczniemy sobie rozmawiać z tymi ludźmi.
Hello. I was wondering whether you could help me.
Why, hi there, handsome. What can I do for you?
Hi, my name's George. I was just...
Well, it certainly is delightful to meet you, George.
I was...
My name's Mrs. Henderson, but you can call me Pearl, I'm sure.
Okay, Pearl. I was...
So nice to meet a friendly American face so far from home.
Pearl?
Yes, dear?
I was just wondering if you could help me.
Why, sure, precious.
Do you know anything about medieval weaving?
I do a little needlework, but gosh.
It's okay. It was a long shot. So, tell me a little about yourself, Pearl.
Me? Oh, a gentleman's interest is always so flattering. Well, my husband and I run a greetings card company in a cute little place called Akron in Ohio.
Akron? Cute? Little?
A, to jest jej mąż pewnie.
Is your husband around, Pearl?
Well, as a matter of fact, Yes, he is. Sorry to disappoint you.
Have you ever heard of a group of knights called the Templars?
Sounds familiar. I remember. Dwayne had a book. The Holy Something and the Holy Something Else, I can't quite recall. I read a little of it.
And?
Seemed like a lot of hooey to me.
I've got to go now, Pearl.
It's been a pleasure, George. Don't be a stranger.
Ciekawa rozmowa.
How did this guy make a living selling useless old machine parts in the middle of nowhere? The stand was hawking ancient machine parts.
Widocznie komuś jest potrzebne.
The merchant was selling fruit. I decided I might have some later.
No spoko. Dobra, idziemy do tego sklepikarza, tych dywanów, tego podejrzanego.
Murhuba! Hello, sir!
Aha!
Ma'a salama!
Ma salama.
It was the pattern. I'd seen that pattern somewhere recently.
Tak? Gdzie? Pewnie
The
to jest
carpet
wejście
seller
gdzieś.
had an impressive collection of wares. If I had the time and the money, I might have bought a couple of rugs.
Hello, sir! Lovely carpet!
O!
Ma'a salama!
The carpet seller looked craftier than the offspring of a fox and an insurance agent.
Nie to mówisz? Tak, podejrzanie wyglądało, jak najbardziej.
Hi, I was wondering whether you could help me.
Why, sure, son. Always got time for a fellow American. The name's Henderson. Dwayne Henderson.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Henderson.
Hell, boy, I'm not in the office. Call me Dwayne.
Oh, okay. Dwayne? My name's George Stobart.
Co?
I saw a medieval picture of a woman. Royalty or nobility, something like that. She was looking in a mirror, but the reflection was of a man with 3 faces. What do you think of that?
I think you should be in therapy.
Dziękuję ci bardzo.
Do you think bulls have any significance around here?
Weird question, George. Nope, I don't think they have.
Do you mind if I ask you an odd question?
Okay, but I might not answer it.
Do you know anything about the Templars?
The Knights Templar?
Yep.
Nope. Nothing at all.
Well, you knew they were an order of knights.
What I know and what I say are 2 different things, boy. I haven't lasted as long as I have in this business without knowing that.
In this business?
Sure. The greetings card business.
Oh, please.
Oj, George. Wiesz, no, czegoś ludzie niektórzy muszą żyć, niestety, no.
Okay, well, I'll see you around, Dwayne.
Count on it, George.
On miał bardzo podobny głos do jednego z postaci z Family Guy'a. No. Nie pamiętam imienia tej postaci, ale bardzo podobny głos. I w sumie tamta babeczka też. Tylko troszeczkę już taka przerysowana. Taka trochę Louise, ale no... tak, troszeczkę podobna. W każdym bądź razie kończymy ten odcinek na tym i w następnym odcinku na pewno dowiemy się dużo ciekawych rzeczy i na pewno coś odkryjemy. Więc do usłyszenia, do następnego razu.